What's up, everybody, and welcome to week 7 on the Fantasy Podcast. We are here bringing you some live injury updates, some quick start advice, and just getting you ready for your matchups. So right now, I am feeling good. I've got Devontae Adams with his 19.4 in the first half, and I'm going up against Travis Hunter with a big old goose egg. And you may ask, why is my matchup starting Travis Hunter? Well, that is the state of his team. So should be a pretty easy week for me going forward. Hoping that it's an easy week for all of you. And let's get right into it. So, obviously, right now in that Rams matchup, there was no Puka Nacua. We hope you started Devontae Adams. There was a lot of talk about starting Jordan Whittington. I didn't think that anyone should have started him this week. I think this was a pickup and monitor week. Let's see if he's used in the Puka Nacua role. I'm going to give a quick check on how he is being used in that role. 1 catch on 3 targets, and the catch went for no yards. So it doesn't look like he is quite sliding into that Puka Nacua role the way we thought he would. So maybe that says a little bit more about Puka and his skill set. Not that that was in question at all. And then on the Jags side right now, obviously, Travis Hunter doing a big old nothing. Brian Thomas, he's got 3 catches for 31 yards. Travis Etienne, 4 carries for 10 yards. This Rams defense is just too much to handle. So monitor that as you go forward in your matchups and on who's playing the Rams, because my goodness, this is they're shutting this team down. All right, first game of the morning, I've got the Saints at Bears. So on the Saints side, pretty clean injury report as far as the offense goes. On the Bears, DeAndre Swift is listed as questionable with a groin injury. Groin injury, so he did practice at limited participation. Groin injury, though, this scares me for a running back. Not that DeAndre Swift is or should be a running back 1 or 2 on anybody's team. He did have that great game last week. Probably a sell high candidate. I would have sold high there as well. But DeAndre Swift looking likely to miss this game. If DeAndre Swift does miss, maybe a Kyle Monangai game. Although, did Kyle Monangai have something going on with him? Let's do a quick search. Sounds familiar. No Kyle Monangai injury or anything like that. So yeah, if DeAndre Swift is not playing in this matchup, could be a nice little Kyle Monangai breakout game. Maybe. I'm not saying it will. I'm not saying to start him, but could be. Again, that is a monitor situation. And then, surprisingly, after spending the night in the hospital, DJ Moore was a full participant in practice this week. So there's no injury with DJ Moore. We hyped up going to grab somebody like Luther Burden or Colston Loveland as a trade just happens in my league. I'll look at that later. We talked about Luther Burden, Colston Loveland, Cole Kmet. DJ Moore's playing. So monitor that one again. I do think DJ Moore is a trade candidate or somebody that's just going to lose snaps in this offense as the season continues forward. So monitor the DJ Moore situation in Chicago. All right, Patriots at Titans. This is a game I'm looking forward to, a nice little revenge game here from Mike Vrabel. Stephon Diggs did have a designation with a chest injury. He was a full participant in practice. He is listed as questionable. I think it's pretty safe to say that he will play in this one. Vrabel wants his full set of weapons going up against the Titans. And then on the Titans side, Calvin Ridley, not that anybody was starting Calvin Ridley, he has been ruled out with his hamstring. I think at this point, Calvin Ridley can be dropped for fantasy teams. 30 years old, already did not look good this season. Now he's got, as we keep saying, that pesky hamstring, and that's just not a great combo. So fire up the Elic Io Manor train as we move forward for the rest of the season. I think he's going to stay the wide receiver 1. Let's see what this offense looks like with the new head coach or new interim head coach. Let's see if Cam Ward can get a little bit more comfortable. But yeah, all that being said, Calvin Ridley is out. I would monitor this offense. I think Tony Pollard might get traded at some point. So what does that mean for Tyjae Spears? I would stash Tyjae Spears if I were you. I would stash Alec Iomanor. But just keep an eye out on the makeup of this team for the next 2 weeks as we rapidly head toward the trade deadline. That'll do it for that game. Dolphins at Browns. So this is going to be some terrible weather. This is going to be a great defense against a terrible defense. We talked about it, I believe, earlier on this show. Start Quinshon Judkins. Again, not that was in any question, but if you are very fortunate that you've got a very deep team, and you're looking at the possibility of maybe sitting him, start Quinshon Judkins in this matchup. Got a quick question here. Dynasty trade. Terry McLaurin for Rico Dowdle. Oh man. Well, that's interesting. So Terry McLaurin for Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle has definitely garnered some reason to be excited about him rest of season. Let me do a quick search on Rico Dowdle's age, though. Rico Dowdle, I believe, is 27 years old. Right on the money. Rico Dowdle is 27 years old. So, Dynasty, you're trading Terry McLaurin away for Rico Dowdle. I know Terry McLaurin's been a disappointment this season as far as the injury, and then and then we all know how holdouts usually turn out that immediate season. But listen, Terry McLaurin, he's 30 years old. I think he's still got it. I think he's still got another 2-3 years to be maybe not a wide receiver one, but somebody that you can start every week once he gets back up to speed so far this season. Probably this is probably a better redraft trade. But in Dynasty, I think whoever got Terry McLaurin absolutely won that trade. Rico Dowdle, while he will have some rest of season value, and he is now in that premium handcuff, what am I? What's where I'm looking for? Premium handcuffed bracket. I just think for Dynasty, I think Terry McLaurin probably wins that one a little bit more. And then it's you're trading a 30-year-old wide receiver for a 27-year-old running back. So pick your poison there. But yeah, I think the Terry side wins that one. All right, let's get back to Dolphins and Browns. Yeah, so no injuries in this one that we should be really concerned about. David Njoku, that is the one though. I think we've all moved on from David Njoku. He is out with the knee injury. If Harold Fannin is still in your league, number one, find a new league, and number two, pick him up right away. I think Harold Fannin Jr. is going to be essentially the wide receiver one in this offense. Not that this offense is booming, but pick him up and maybe depending on what the makeup of your team is, maybe look at other tight ends today. Again, this is going to be a terrible weather game. Dylan Gabriel, hopefully he's not passing the ball 52 times like he did last week. This should be a 18 to 21 attempt game for Dylan Gabriel in this weather. But arrow up, rocket for Quinshon Judkins in this matchup against the last place ranked run defense with the Miami Dolphins. All right, next, Raiders at Chiefs. Do Raiders still have the blueprint? I do not think so. In this one, Jacoby Myers was limited in practice, questionable with a knee and a toe. I think we all know what this means. I don't think he's playing in this one. He wants a trade. He wants out of Vegas. So now the knee's acting up, the toe's acting up. Let's look to see a back designation this week from Jacoby Myers. I do not think he's playing in this one. And then Brock Bowers is doubtful with the knee. Man, what a rough season for Brock Bowers. For those of you who drafted him in the second round, you're just not getting anything out of him. Hopefully, you picked up Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer has proven to be a premium tight end handcuff, which is not something we normally see. But Brock Bowers is doubtful. You know, I just whether or not you're waiting to see if he's going to play, I think I would just already have another option ready to go. This is not one of the morning. Oh, I'm sorry, no, this is one of the morning games, so you'll know before you have to make a tough decision. But I would just have somebody ready to go. If Michael Mayer's out there, go pick up Michael Mayer so that if it is a game time decision, you can have that quick pivot. But yeah, I don't think he's playing in this one. Brock Bowers just has not looked right. The knee has not looked right all season. So I think that continues this week. And then on the Chiefs side, the Chiefs are just this is a clean injury report. Aside from the weirdness going on with Josh Simmons, he is out for a personal reason. I know this isn't really fantasy relevant, but tackle Josh Simmons. Uh, Listen, there's just a mystery around it. Situation described as extremely serious. I can't wait to hear whatever that is. But as far as fantasy goes, clean game for the Chiefs. Something to monitor though, Isaiah Pacheco did receive around 75% of snaps at the running back position last week. So it is looking like he is trending back into having the main role in the backfield for the Chiefs. We'll see if they make a trade this season. Famously, as we know now, Alvin Kamara is off the market. He essentially hinted that he would rather retire than get traded away from the New Orleans Saints. All right, buddy. But let's see if like a Breece Hall gets maybe traded there, or a Tony Pollard. But until that happens, Isaiah Pacheco, who's been dropped in a lot of leagues recently, I would go take a look and see if Isaiah Pacheco's in your league, and grab him and hold on, because he is getting healthier, getting more used to game speed as he missed most of last season. So he's getting more snaps each week in that backfield. All right, Eagles at Vikings. I'm worried about this one. Fellas. Um, Jalen Carter is questionable with a heel injury. If Jalen Carter is not playing in this game, Jordan Mason owners start him and watch the train move, because Cam Scatterbo absolutely tore up the Eagles last week with no Jalen Carter. And Jordan Mason is a very similar back. He's just a bruiser. He's a big dude with sneaky speed, same as Cam Scatterbo, who can just take off as soon as the ball is handed to them. So if Jalen Carter is out, again, still listed as questionable, limited participation in practice. He did miss last week. If Jalen Carter's out, Jordan Mason owners start him and don't worry about it. And then on the Vikings side, pretty clean injury report, aside from quarterback. So JJ McCarthy is out on this one. He is actually designated to be the emergency QB3. Carson Wentz is getting the start. And this is just a weird situation. If Carson Wentz is available in your league, if you're in a deep 2 quarterback league and Carson Wentz is available, go pick him up. Just wait and see what happens, because he might be the starting quarterback going forward. I've heard Kirk Cousins trade rumors to back to Minnesota. If you're talking about trading for Kirk Cousins, then I don't think JJ McCarthy's the guy. Do I think they've had enough time to see if he's the guy? No, I don't think 2 games is enough to see if you've got your franchise quarterback or not. But this is how they're operating right now. I don't think Kevin O'Connell has a lot of patience, which maybe he shouldn't, because this is a fantastic roster. And I think they're in a contending window, but they just can't figure out quarterback. Maybe you keep the guy who won you 14 games last year in Sam Darnold, and not just let him walk for nothing. But regardless, that is not a fantasy conversation. Carson Wentz is the starting quarterback. Maybe a little revenge game here against the Eagles. All right, Panthers at Jets. Chuba Hubbard is back. So we just talked a little bit about Rico Dowdle. Chuba Hubbard is back. I don't think that guts your Rico Dowdle value. I think you take a look at matchups, and the Jets is a great day to start Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle. So obviously, we're not expecting the volume that Rico Dowdle has received in the last 2 weeks. But Chuba Hubbard's back, Rico Dowdle's back. You're playing against the Jets. I think the Panthers are going to win this one. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about if Rico Dowdle is somebody who you're in a position that you have to start. If you've lost a running back, if Amarian Hampton is gone, if you've got Aaron Jones, he's gone. You didn't pick up Jordan Mason, and you were able to snag Rico Dowdle. I wouldn't worry about starting him in this one with Chuba Hubbard being back. And then on the Jets side, Garrett Wilson is not going to play in this one. He's right now listed as doubtful. He did not participate in practice. But as far as the rest of the season goes, we've heard conflicting reports about the severity of this knee injury. As far as the rest of the season goes, I think the fact that even at this point on Sunday morning, he is still listed as doubtful and has not been ruled out. I think that's a good sign going forward. He wasn't put on the IR. There was talk about him missing multiple weeks. I think that will be shortened just based on how they've treated him as far as the injury report goes this week. Unless the Jets are just top to bottom the worst organization in the world and they've had him listed like this all week and then he's on IR next week. Not putting that past the Jets. But as far as he's been listed this week, I think that bodes very well for us to see a return, maybe even as early as next week, because there was some question on if he was even going to play this week. So I think the severity of that knee injury is not as detrimental as we thought. All right, Colts at Chargers. We're now into the afternoon, or if you're on the East Coast, early evening slate of games. Colts are out Josh Downs with a concussion. He did not participate in practice. He's going to miss this one. So fire up the Michael Pittman train. Michael Pittman's had a pretty good season. I think he had a down game last week. Let's get back to Michael Pittman this week as Josh Downs is out. And then on the Charger side, obviously, we are without Omari and Hampton for several weeks, and it's been well documented that it's going to be a few weeks longer than the regular 4-week IR period. So hopefully you picked up Kimani Vidal. Hopefully you picked up Kimani Vidal, and maybe Colts is not the best matchup to expect what he did last week, but this is a great test. So had the great game last week. Now they're playing the Colts. Let's see if he can do it here. Let's see how he's used here. I would absolutely pay close attention to the situation and see how he does in this game. Maybe not starting him, but I would pay close attention to that. Joe Alt is doubtful, so that will contribute to the running back game. Joe Alt still with that ankle injury he suffered against the Giants in Week 4. Limited participation in practice this week. He is doubtful. So if you are in a position where you may have to start Kimani Vidal, take a look at that. See what Joe Alt's doing. See if he's going to play this game today. All right, Giants at Broncos. Still no, obviously, Malik Neighbors. If you're living under a rock, Malik Neighbors is not playing. And then Darius Slayton also is out with a hamstring. Darius Slayton, a little bit aged there. That hamstring comes for all. So it seems like it comes for every receiver at some point or another. Wan'Dale Robinson, probably a great start here. Actually, hold on. This is Patrick Surtain. So scratch that. I would not start any receivers in this game. I would not start Wan'Dale Robinson going up against the Broncos. Patrick Surtain has shut down pretty much everybody he has come in contact with this season. We saw what Garrett Wilson did last week. Nice, cool 4 PPR points. So scratch that. I would not start any Giants receivers against the Broncos. You are going Cam Scatterbu, and you are going Cam Scatterbu alone. And then on the Broncos side, clean game here, but this Broncos offense is just there's nothing to look forward to if you're starting a Bronco. If you're starting J.K. Dobbins or Evan Ingram or Courtland Sutton. Courtland Sutton's been pretty situation proof, I'd say. But I mean, I expect more from this Broncos offense. Let's see how it continues. But as far as injuries go, pretty clean there. All right, and then the Commanders. Yikes. Deebo Samuel is out. Terry McLaurin is out. Zach Ertz is questionable with a shoulder and a calf. Limited participation in practice. Who is Jaden Daniels going to get the ball to? You've got JCM. You've got rookie receiver Jalen Lane. You've got third-year receiver Luke McCaffrey. And that's it. I mean, this is rough. So yeah, no Terry McLaurin, no Deebo Samuel, and a question on Zach Ertz today. If Zach Ertz does play, I would start Zach Ertz against this horrible Cowboys defense. I would start Zach Ertz if he does play. with the other receivers, Jalen Lane, Luke McCaffrey, and whoever else. I think Noah Brown's on IR. You just don't know where the ball's going to go. You wish you could start somebody against the Cowboys. You really wish Deebo Samuel was out there to go up against the Cowboys when they're terrible, terrible defense. But we got to move forward. So start Zach Ertz if he's playing. And then on the Cowboys side, nothing here as far as new injuries, but CeeDee Lamb is back. So CeeDee Lamb is back. Start him and get excited. I would still start George Pickens. I don't think this does anything to George Pickens week to week value. So CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, I'm excited to see that duo at full strength. So get ready for that. Packers at Cardinals. Josh Jacobs, questionable illness and calf, full participant in practice. Josh Jacobs will play. Josh Jacobs has had a phenomenal season. So I'm excited to see what he can do against the Cardinals. Christian Watson is not back yet. He is still out. So we get another week of trying to figure out if Matthew Golden is the guy. Do what you will with that. And then on the Cardinals side, Kyler Murray listed as questionable. Let me see if that is current, if he's been ruled out yet or not. Oh, yeah, so that is not current. Kyler Murray is out. It's going to be Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers last week against the Colts lit it up. Now, the Colts were down 4 or 5 of their starting corners. So I don't think we look at this and say, oh, Jacoby Myers is the guy. Kyler Murray's out and Jacoby Myers is playing. Start Jacoby Myers. Start everybody. I would not look at that in that way. Colts were down their corners, so the Cardinals were able to take advantage of that. I would not look at that. Monitor the situation and see what's going on there. Marvin Harrison Jr. after the concussion last week, full participant. He will play. And then Imari DiMercado is out. I think his career might be done after that blunder at the goal line, and then now he's injured shortly after. I think that's just he's done, and that's rough. All right, Falcons at 49ers. This is the Sunday night game. Cannot wait for this one. As a Bijan Robinson truther, I cannot wait for this one. No injuries on the Falcons side as far as offense goes. Darnell Mooney is questionable. That is the one. Darnell Mooney questionable with the hamstring. Did not participate in practice. I think we're missing Darnell Mooney again. But I think we've all moved on from Darnell Mooney after he was very usable last season. I think we've all moved on by now. And then the Niners. Ricky Pearsall is out with the knee. Did not participate all week. First game without Fred Warner. So like I said, I'm super excited to see Bijan Robinson here against the Giants, or I'm sorry, here against the 49ers with the unfortunate Fred Warner loss for the season. I think Bijan's going to absolutely tear them up. And then Brock Purdy is out with the toe. So if you have to start Mac Jones, you have to start Mac Jones. Hopefully you do not have to start Mac Jones in this one. All right, on to Monday night. We got 2 more games here. Bucks at the Lions. I'm so sorry if you have some Bucks on your team. Emeka Egbuka questionable with the hamstring. Mike Evans questionable with the hamstring. Mike Evans was a full participant in practice. I believe he will play. I am pretty sure that Chris Godwin has already been ruled out. Yep, Chris Godwin ruled out with the fibula. Bucky Irving ruled out with the foot and shoulder. Yikes. So you're starting Rachaad White, and I think that's it. If you picked up Cam Johnson or Tez Johnson, do not wait until Monday night. Do not start Cam Johnson or Tez Johnson Monday night. Find something else there. Find something else you can use. And if they go off, they go off. All right. But this is crazy for the Bucks. Again, Egbuka most likely not playing. Mike Evans probably is playing. Let's give a quick look at that elsewhere. Let's see if that is current. Okay, yeah. So they're still both listed as questionable, Mike Evans and Emeka Egbuka. I think it's trending that Mike Evans plays. I think it's trending that Emeka Egbuka does not play. But if have something else if you are waiting on one of them. I think that's where you do pick up a Cam Johnson or Tez Johnson because this is a Monday night game. You don't want to have waited all week, let other guys play on your bench that you could have started, and then we get a game time. Mike Evans is not playing. So you got to have something. You got to have a backup ready. So have somebody that you can slip into that lineup from one of these Monday night games in case they do not play. And then on the Lions side, Lions are clean. No significant injuries on the offensive side. I think the Lions win this one. I think they, besides the Chiefs game, looking like a Chiefs games go, I think the Lions look like one of the best teams in the league. All right, last game of the week. This is our late Monday night game. Quick question here. Start Tyjae Spears against New England. Is Tony Pollard not playing? Tony Pollard's playing. No, I'm not starting Tyjae Spears against New England. Not at all. Not in this matchup. New England's defense has been great this year. I am not starting Tyjae Spears. I don't know how down bad your team must be. But starting Tyjae Spears, look, he's missed so much time. We've got to give him some time to ramp it up and get back to full game speed. I know we as deep fantasy lovers are excited that Tyjae Spears is back, but he has not looked like a fantasy asset for 2 years since his rookie season playing behind Derrick Henry. I was big on Tyjae Spears last year. I drafted him on my team last year, and then injury, and then coming back, I would not start Tyjae Spears just yet. But here's the thing: if he plays a great game, then you get to start him next week. But I would not right out of the gate start Tyjae Spears unless you absolutely have to. And I apologize if I've missed any other questions. I've not been keeping an eye on that. If our producer can maybe, if I have missed any questions, if you can throw them back up on the screen, I'll make sure to take a look at that. All right, back to Texans at Seahawks. On the Texans side, Christian Kirk is out with the hamstring. Not that Christian Kirk is a big fantasy asset, but let's get some Nico Collins going, man. Let's get him going. I think this is a good opportunity here for Nico Collins to, on national TV, come back and say, "Look, I am the alpha receiver that you thought I was and that I showed last year." And then on the Seahawks side, we talked about this on our show. I cannot wait to see Jackson Smith-Njigba against Derek Stingley. Let's see if this dude is the truth. If JSN goes off in this game, then I think you put him in the Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson conversation for the rest of this season. If JSN does have the clamps put on him, could be a Cooper Kupp game. I think Cooper Kupp is somebody to pick up. Hang on real quick. Quick question here. Romeo Doubs, Tez, or McCaffrey, or risk it with Ibuka, who's a game time decision. McCaffrey, I'm assuming you're talking Luke McCaffrey. So I think Tez is referring to Tez Johnson with the Bucks. That is a great question. Okay, so we got Romeo Doubs, Tez Johnson, or Luke McCaffrey, or do you risk it with Ibuka? I do not think you risk it with Ibuka. I don't think he's going to play. That could change. Just me personally, I don't think Emeka Ibuka is going to play. Let's take a look here. 2 hours ago, Week 7 injury update. Still listed as questionable. Considered a game time decision. So yeah, Dobbs, Tez, or McCaffrey. Let's take a look at the matchups. So Romeo Dobbs going against the Cardinals. Tez Johnson obviously is essentially Ibuka's backup going against the Lions, or Luke McCaffrey, Commanders going against the Cowboys. Dude, this is a great question. Because you've got McCaffrey going against bottom 2 defense in the league. You've got Romeo Dobbs, who is Jordan Love's absolute red zone darling. And I think the Packers will be in the red zone a lot against the Cardinals. And then Tez Johnson is just that clean replacement for Emeka Ibuka. Man, if I'm put in this situation, I'm going to go with who has the highest ceiling here, not necessarily the highest floor. I think it's Romeo Dobbs. Just the fact that he is the red zone target for the Packers, for Jordan Love. Jordan Love loves him in the red zone. We've seen multiple touchdown games from him over the past 2 seasons. I think you go with Romeo Dobbs here. I think that's probably the safest decision. Man, this is so tough. I do not envy you here. This is a tough one. And I was just about to bring up in that Texans Seahawks game that I think Cooper Kupp would be a good person to, I don't know what his status is as far as how much he's owned in leagues, but I think Cooper Kupp would be somebody just for the fact that this is the last game of the week. Derek Stingley could put the clamps on JSN, and it could be a Cooper Kupp game. I think if Cooper Kupp's available, maybe you go pick him up and add that to your list of decisions you have to make if you are waiting on a Emeka Egbuka. But for this specific question, I think Romeo Dobbs is probably the guy that I would start here with Egbuka being a game time decision. So great question though. McCaffrey has no Debo and Scary Terry. I know that. I know there's no Debo and Scary Terry. We did mention that. But I mean, when's the last time Luke McCaffrey's done anything? Um, let me give it a quick look at his stats for this season as far as fantasy goes. Um, I drafted Luke McCaffrey as a deep sleeper his rookie season and last year. Um, I mean, he had one catch last week, and I remember it was a big touchdown. Um, he's just not used. He's just not used in this offense. Uh, I mean, he's serving as the number one wideout against the Cowboys, and that's why that's why it's such a great question, because if you're just looking at it, you're like, no, you're not starting Luke McCaffrey, but they're going against this terrible, terrible defense, the Cowboys. Um, man, this is a great question. This is a great, great question. I think I'm still just you got to look at floors and ceilings. Luke McCaffrey does not have any floor. Um, yeah, maybe he's got a pretty good looking ceiling going against this offense. Um, Romeo Dobbs doesn't have a great floor, but I just oh man, you get this is tough. I think I'm still going Romeo Dobbs. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Forgive me if you start Dobbs and Luke McCaffrey goes off. But look, last week Romeo Dobbs had 9 targets, played 85% of the snaps. The week before that, played 90% of the snaps, 8 targets, 6 catches, 3 touchdowns. Um, I think Dobbs is just this is his fourth year in this offense. Jordan Love absolutely loves him. I think you go Romeo Dobbs in that situation. But great question, man. Hey guys, keep sending questions in like that. It's just fun to talk. It's just fun to talk that. Here we got a question here. Would you trade away Justin Herbert and Jake Ferguson with CeeDee Lamb now back for Lamar Jackson and Harold Fannin? My other tight end and QB are Tyler Warren and Drake May. I'm assuming this is a 2 quarterback league if you or super flex league if you are looking to start Lamar Jackson and Drake May. Um, I think this is this looks like a good trade. Uh, Jake Ferguson with CeeDee Lamb back. We'll see what that looks like. But now Harold Fannin is going to be the guy in Cleveland. Um, we just got to get Lamar Jackson back, man. So obviously they are in the bye week this week. Um, man, I don't see anything on his injury status. But with them being in the bye week currently, he could be back next week. I think you win this trade. I think getting Lamar Jackson and Harold Fannin, trading away Justin Herbert and Jake Ferguson. I think that's an absolute sell high on Jake Ferguson, buy low on Harold Fannin, and then just head to head Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson. I just think Lamar Jackson's going to finish the higher points per game quarterback for the rest of the season. But great question. Um, Listen, that will do it for this week. One more question. Jordan Mason or Tet McMillan as a flex, leaning McMillan. Okay, we brought this up a little bit early in the show. Jordan Mason with the Vikings going up against the Eagles. Jalen Carter is questionable with the heel. If Jalen Carter is not playing, you start Jordan Mason here because Cam Scatterbu tore up the Eagles last week with no Jalen Carter. You start Jordan Mason if Jalen Carter is playing. And then Tet McMillan, let me scroll back up and I forgot who the Panthers are playing. Oh, they're playing the Jets. Okay, yeah. So I stand by what I said. If Jalen Carter is not playing, you start Jordan Mason. If Jalen Carter is playing, you're going McMillan. So just the way it's as it stands right now, McMillan. I would agree with you. Lean toward McMillan. If Jalen Carter's not playing, I would probably go Jordan Mason. Carson Wentz or Jacoby Brissett. Let's look at the matchups again. Carson Wentz playing against the Eagles, and the Cardinals. Jacoby Brissett playing against the Packers. Jacoby Brissett, excuse me, playing against the Packers. Look, Jacoby Brissett tore up the Colts last week. They had no corners. They had wide receiver Ashton Doolin playing some snaps at corner. I think that's why Jacoby Brissett tore it up last week. I would go Carson Wentz if you're in that situation of choosing between Carson Wentz or Jacoby Brissett. Could be a revenge game for Carson Wentz. And here's the thing with Wentz. He's just a wild man. He is an absolute wild card. Question from TikTok. Need a flex. Breece Hall versus Carolina. Stephon Diggs versus Tennessee. Michael Pittman versus the Chargers. You are going Breece Hall against Carolina, my friend. He is there's going to be no Garrett Wilson. He is going to be the only thing in that offense. I don't think we see what we I could be wrong. What we saw with the Jets last week was an embarrassment to football. Hopefully we get the ball out of Justin Fields' hands a lot quicker than whatever was happening last week. So we should see some more dump offs, some more design pass plays to Breece Hall this week. And again, he is the only guy. There's no Garrett Wilson. Mason Taylor, rookie tight end Mason Taylor might emerge here, but you're going Breece Hall in that one. If there are no more questions, that'll do it for today. Thank you all for the questions. Keep firing them in. We love to talk. We love to just discuss this with you. So keep firing the questions. Join us on Monday for our NFL Benched wrap-up, Week 7 wrap-up show. We'll be back with more fantasy shows this week. And then join us again every Sunday at the 8 o'clock hour. We are going to be going live, talking about injuries, talking about sit starts, and getting you ready for the week. But thank you guys. Really appreciate you. And we will see you next time. Peace.